my understanding. My daily bread, that amazing. I'm talking about precepts. Precept on precept, line upon line, line. Precept on precept, line upon line, line. Babe, I can't keep explaining, can't study for you. I can't think of nothing.
We are not a hate group. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Israel United in Christ is a nonviolent Bible-based movement. We do not advocate or condone any acts of violence against any race, ethnicity, or gender. We advise that if anyone hears or knows of any plots to cause harm to anyone or to break the laws of the land, you must contact the proper authorities to bring awareness to any possible threat, as stated in Leviticus chapter 5, verse 1.
Yeah. Hey, Shalom Israel, Most High in Christ bless y'all. Welcome to another edition of Precept Upon Precept. And tonight we got fresh faces. Our Captain Matt and Officer Micah are doing the Lord's work abroad, okay? And Mikael, Lord's will, a life last, will be back to the show in the foreseeable future. So, I'm Captain Shem, to my left.
Officer Thomas.
All the way to the far left.
Officer Solomon.
Officer Zadiah.
And we are your hosts tonight, Precept Upon Precept. So, like we do every Precept Upon Precept, put up the thumbnail. Well, actually, Thomas, we can't point here, but so look, we have our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Rumble. And if you look at the PayPal, you can make a donation to the Land Fund, or if you want to make a donation, I think they can get the Booster Club through there. And if you scan the code at the end on the left, let us know how we did. Like if you think the three guys that came on are boring and don't say, you could say that. Or if they were on fire, you could say that too. Or if I talk with wrong run-on sentences, you can let me know about myself as well. All praise the Lord. Let's take a look at the thumbnail that's on the screen right there. Now, I'll start by saying a little something. You brothers can add what we see here. So the title is at the top in small font, "The Dragons Are Coming Back," meaning those are the dragons of the nations of Arabia. Israel under attack. So bars on that. And how is Israel under attack? Because the media is lying to you in regards to you think that the Arabs are not doing anything and that Israel is destroying is the Arab nations, i.e. the Palestinians. Long story short, that's what I see. I see the Saudi Arabian garb. I see the weapons. I see burning in the background. I see what looks to be Washington, D.C. What do you brothers see?
Hey, Cap, you also have to notice that the gentleman on my right, he's carrying a Quran.
Oh, okay.
And
right.
so with that, they're doing all of this in the name of Allah Akbar.
Right. And if I'm not mistaken, Zadai, you're an Army guy. Is that C4 strapped to the other guy's chest?
Yes, sir, it is.
I don't know if I see that right.
Yes, sir. C4. Allah Akbar, brother, ready to blow it up.
So, look, this is, and we're going to get into, we got a lot of content. We're going to end right at 11th. We start a little bit late. I'll take the blame. It's my fault. We're about 10 minutes late. Hey, did we post the link for all our social media? Because nothing was posted earlier. We didn't share anything to any telegrams at all. It is on all of them? Okay, because people were saying they couldn't find it. But, okay, the brothers did their job. Pull up the first one, the first article, or video rather. So, look, we are going to get into it. Tonight's content, all right? Take a look at this. So,
this hour.
this is number one, right? Okay. Lebanon. And I want you to get a map ready of Lebanon. It was, I think, the second map I asked for. Let's go ahead and play the video.
Soldiers have been killed in an Israeli strike in southern Lebanon. Now, the soldiers were evacuating wounded people on the outskirts of the village.
We don't
of
even need a
Yatta.
map, Akiem. we have our map right here. Something that I want to say now that I want everybody to pay attention to very carefully. If you notice, right, there's a saying that's from the river to the sea, right? So when you look at where they're bombing heavily now, Lebanon, which is in the orange color, Beirut is a protruding peninsula, and it is a very sought after place. And if you notice how they destroyed, now go south, pull up the map of Israel. Pull up a map of, I'm going to show you how slick Esau is. Gaza and Beirut are both what? They're coastal cities. They're coastal areas. Look at the Gaza Strip. It is right near Egypt in the right on the Mediterranean Sea, and it is a very important piece of real estate. Go up back to Lebanon. You could just the other bit. There you go. Go back to the video. Remember we had the map in the video. Just transition back. Right. So Gaza was all the way down, and now Beirut. So what you're going to find, there's a reason why the Israelis are bombing the hell out of everything. Oh, we didn't know it was a house. We thought they were hidden. When you can destroy infrastructure, then you can rebuild on your terms. And what you're going to find is the Israeli IDF under Netanyahu, they have an agenda to take over all of that area. It's not about October 7th, okay?
And Cap, too.
Yes.
They having, like, parties and stuff over, when you read different articles, they celebrating over them destroying, like, they got an article out right now where he talks about how they destroyed a whole bunch of civilians. They had nothing to do with what's going on with them, and they just killing people. And they having parties and celebrating over taking over that part of Lebanon.
Yeah, and there's a lot of articles that show that, meaning that the Israelis will get together, they'll dress up like Arabs, paint their face, and mock. They'll mock. They'll show, like, paint their teeth black, like they're missing teeth, and they'll mock the hell out of them. And they'll have all social gatherings about that, which is it's bringing the Arabs together, which they don't understand that. So go ahead and
Excuse me, Cap.
Yes, sir.
And also too, when you think about it, they did the same thing to Tulsa, Oklahoma. They bombed it and then they restructured it the way that, because they said that, okay, you cannot rebuild on the damaged land and buildings that have been burned up. So now you're gonna have to do and walk to our tomb.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All praise to the Most High. So you at home. Let's go ahead and play on. I wanted to just to bring it out. Why aren't they bombing? Here's my point. Why aren't they bombing central Lebanon where the mountains are at? Because they don't care about that. They care about the coastal cities. They care where the oil's at. They care where they can elongate and what they think they're going to do. That whole area on the Mediterranean Sea. And guess what? God is going to put it in just like he did. Get me Romans 9, Officer Zediah. Yes, remember, in history, God allowed Pharaoh to do the same thing. That's why we had a couple shows months back where we had AI generate Netanyahu like he was a pharaoh, because that's what he is. He is the modern day pharaoh, and he will not. Well, he's got our people too, but God is hardening his heart. Romans 9. Start at verse 7, and I'm gonna look at it.
Yes, sir. The book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 7. Neither, because they are the seed of Abraham.
I'm sorry. Go to harden his heart. Just came to me real quick. Go ahead to 17.
Yes, sir. Verse 17. For the scriptures said unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee.
What does that mean? If God never allowed Pharaoh's heart to be hardened, there wouldn't have been an exodus. The Egyptian army wouldn't have chased them. They wouldn't have need to destroy the army. If they let them go peacefully, hey, you Negroes just get out of here. No, he had it to the very end. Then he let them go. Then he sent the army after him. God did all of that. Why can't they just come up with a two-state party peace? Palestine, you get your part. Israel, you want to know why? Because God is allowing this guy Netanyahu and the IDF to do all his bidding, so that what? The Carmenians and the Arabs, the sons of Ishmael, the dragons of Arabia, they're going to raise up, and that's how the war is going to be set off. All right, we're going to show you tonight. Read on.
And that my name might be declared throughout all the earth.
Right, all the earth. And that's what's going to happen again. When these bombs begin to drop towards the end of the show, we're going to show you God's name is going to be declared. Why? Because the lowly people of the earth, the ones that society, the white man, writes off, we're going to reign supreme. And right now, it doesn't look like that at all. Go back to the video. We'll let this play.
In Lebanon, according to an army statement, among those dead are an officer. Well, in Beirut, there's been a series of explosions overnight that have rocked the capital. At least one person was killed. The suburb of Dahia has been repeatedly hit by Israeli airstrikes. Since hostilities flared between Hezbollah and Israel in mid-September, more than 1,800 people in Lebanon have been killed in Israel.
Stop right there. So we've covered on, you don't have to show me, just leave it right there. We've covered on previous shows that over 40,000 Palestinians have died so far, right? And it's been about a year and 2 or 3 weeks. This just started in September. And Esau, a.k.a. Israel, the Israelis, have already killed almost 2,000 people, and it just started. Showing you they're doing the same exact thing to not the brothers, but their brothers, under the disguise of Hezbollah. No. What power does the Hamas in Gaza have? They have no power. They have no military. They have no sophisticated warfare. That's what they're doing. They're attacking, destroying, so they can create future real estate and take over that land. They're obliterating Beirut right now. Keep in mind, we're going to show you a bomb hitting. Play on.
Thanks. Let's cross over to Imran Khan, who's monitoring the situation for us in southern Lebanon. Good morning, Imran. I mean, the Israelis continue to bomb and have also apologized for hitting civilians and soldiers, but more deaths are being reported on Thursday.
That's absolutely right. 3 more soldiers were killed as they were, as you say, moving people who had been injured out of the village of Yatar in Bint Jebel in southern Lebanon. It's not actually that far away from here. Now, that brings the total of Lebanese soldiers that have been killed now to 30.
So pause. I want you all to pay attention real quick. There's a difference between the Lebanese army and what they call Hezbollah. The Lebanon, the country, has zero power. Their military is aiding and assisting in getting their citizens to safety after they get bombed or before the raid. If the siren gets, if the Israelis warn, hey, we're about to bomb this suburb, get your people out of here. If in a real situation, the Israeli army should send their air force in and bomb the crap out of Israel, they don't have any power. Hezbollah is the fighting force that is not even in the national army. So when they say the Lebanese army soldiers are dying, now they're actually killing America has their soldiers, Germany has their soldiers, Lebanon has their soldiers. They're not even fighting. They're peacekeeping and civilian monitoring. And what you're going to find is that Israel's controlling all the shots. It's play on. It's a sad damn thing.
Since September the 29th. Now, what the Lebanese army actually do in these situations, they're not actually fighting the Israelis. What they're doing is they're providing support services for things like civil defense or the emergency services. They're trying to help the civilian population. And in that role is where they have been targeted. And so this is a very serious incident for the Lebanese army. I'm just going to quickly tell you about an incident.
So pause. Those of you who are local, right? New Orleans is the metropolitan area in this part of southern Louisiana. That's like if Mexico was more powerful than the U.S. and they started to strike Metairie, Kenner, Slidell, Gretna, and surround. They're hitting suburbs where a high population, hundreds of thousands of residents live. They're not striking. So where do you have military targets in strategic places? In a suburb. I'm just showing you this is some crazy stuff that's going on.
Hey, Cap.
Yes, sir.
You look at those numbers. It say 1,800 people, and that's in America. And our comfortability, you're like, that's not a lot. We have desensitized death. 1,800 people. That's a lot of people. Let me get a scripture real quick. Let me get Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 16. Because what we got to understand is that we looking at this from the outside looking in. Those people over there, they getting tore up. You understand what I'm saying? And we got to understand that this is going to eventually come to America. So we got to prepare our minds for this. All right? Read that real quick.
The book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 18.
No, verse 17.
Verse 17. For the violence of Lebanon
That's what's going on right now. We having violence in Lebanon. Read on.
Shall cover thee.
Uh-huh.
And the spoil of beast which made them afraid.
Read on.
Because of men's blood.
That's what we talking about, right? We talking about because of men's blood. Read.
And for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein.
That's what we talking about right now. The destruction that's going on in Lebanon. It's in the Bible. It's prophesied that for these things to happen. All right.
That's a very good point. And so let's move on to the next video. We're going to show you during the daytime when a major bomb hits, and I'm going to prove it's the suburbs they're hitting. Play the next video. You can move on from this one. The next one is a YouTube short, and we're going to play it a couple times. I want you to, at home, watch. I want you to look. Let's before you start the video, you see how they have things hanging out of the windows, right? That's not a commercial piece of real estate. Those are balconies, and people live there. Look very carefully. Those are what they call ductless mini splits. That's what they use for residential air conditioning. You can see the patio where people go outside, okay? Those are residential structures. You see the little teeny little satellites, okay? That's for, I guess, satellite dishes like Dish Network.
Right.
There's curtains in various windows. Those are residential. I would argue they're city. They may be suburban, depends how populated it is.
They call them flats, Cap.
Flats, very flats. This is residential. So my question is, what you're about to see is, if it were truly a war and trying to get military targets, why are they bombing residential neighborhoods? Watch what you're about to see. And this is enraging the Arabs in Egypt, Arabs in Yemen, United Arab Emirates, Iraq, Syria. They are enraged. In Egypt, okay? The Arabs that are in your local corner store in New Orleans and New York City, do you think that they like seeing us? That's where these sleeper cells is coming up, okay? And they're going to start planning things. Lord forbid that's why in Israel we don't need to be out and about. Do your business and get back home, okay? Play. Watch this. Go back. It happened very fast. Can you see it? It's happened so damn fast. Okay. So we're going to show you. There it is. That's a missile. That is a huge missile. And as soon as it hits, watch the timing of the destruction.
Dramatic footage captured a tower block in southern Beirut collapsing after an Israeli missile strike.
Right. So it looks like at first we thought it hit the top. It didn't. It hit more of the base. You can see how the explosion's coming from more like mid-level down. See the shrapnel and the debris. This is one example that's documented of them killing. And here's the thing: they have they say it's 1,800. Well, how many people in there that get out are permanently maimed the rest of their life? Compound fractures, missing an eye, your arm gets ripped off. These people's life, there's 1,800 so-called dead. There could be thousands and thousands more that have injuries that are gonna hurt them the rest of their life. You know, go on to the next video. So real quick, it just came to me, and I don't remember. There's a scripture. Is it in Habakkuk or it's in Nahum about the sleeper cells? It just came to me.
Habakkuk.
Yeah,
Habakkuk 2.
Get that one. No, about caterpillars. Look up caterpillars. It's Jeremiah. Yes, just came to me. I was thinking about. Yes, the Arabs in Palestine are upset. The Arabs in Lebanon are upset. But what if I'm Lebanese and I'm second generation Lebanese and I live in Detroit, and I'm seeing my great aunt and live on the block? How do you think that's going to fare with me if I'm related and they got Arabs all over the world? There's a huge Arab population in the United Kingdom. There's a huge Arab population in New York City, Los Angeles, so on and so forth. So they're all across the world. They are livid. Read.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 51, verse 14.
Okay, 51:14. Okay.
The Lord of hosts had sworn by himself, saying, surely I will fill thee with men.
Go back to verse 1, and then we're going to jump.
Yes, sir. Verse 1. Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon.
So God's saying, behold, through Jeremiah, he going to raise up against Babylon. So who is part of Babylon? Well, guess what? The least of the flock is a part of the biggest of the flock. America is the big brother. The least of the flock is talking about the Israelis.
That's right.
Okay, read on.
And against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me.
Right. And guess what's happening? The doggone Israelis can't do a damn thing without the tens of billions and billions of dollars. Without that, they would have been decimated by now. So they're part of that Babylonian empire. They're the least of the flock. But guess what? You're going to find out later tonight that you'll find out these Jewish or these Israeli, they're running the U.S. government. Indirectly, read on.
A destroying wind.
Right. Destroying wind, that's thermonuclear fire. But now get to the next part.
And will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her and shall empty her land.
Right. That's definitely good. Isaiah gets into that a little bit better. Go to verse 14 now.
Verse 14. The Lord of hosts hath sworn by himself, saying, surely I will fill thee with men.
Who's he going to fill with men? Is he going to fill the Somalians with men? Babylon. He's going to fill Babylon. So the reaches of Babylon includes all of their hundreds of military bases. These Arabs, these so-called wild men, are going to be filled in all of Babylon's empires, namely the United States of America. They're going to be filled up like caterpillars. Read on.
As with caterpillars.
Yep.
And they shall lift up a shout against thee.
Who's the they? Those are the caterpillars. When they're in a cocoon state, are they a threat? No. When do they get to shout? When they come out of that. A caterpillar goes to a stage. They're like a worm, and then they go in and before they become a butterfly and can blossom and sprout out. They're all sleeping right now. They're sleeping, right. And when they emerge, when they get to shout, they're gonna come out of their shell, right. If you will, and they're gonna boom everything up. They're gonna hit infrastructure. They're gonna do all type of terrorist acts, And that's why Mikael posted, they'll have C4. They're willing to actually kill themselves for their perceived mission.
Become martyrs. Can I get a script
Yes.
to compliment what you said?
Yes, sir.
Let's get that Habakkuk 2. We're going to read verse 5, and then we're going to jump to 7. All right? Because of the fact that what we got to realize is what you brought out, Cap, was real heavy. This is the prophecy of these sleeper cells. These men that are just waiting. They're waiting for the word to say go and blow everything up. Read.
The book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 5.
Come on.
Yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine.
The philosophies of America. They already transgressed by wine. They followed behind to become rich. You know, and also, too, hey, they used us. Come on.
He is a proud man.
Come on. He is very proud. Very proud. There is nothing worse than a doggone proud Arab. They look at you like you ain't nothing. Read.
Neither keepeth at home.
And well, this is talking more so about Esau, but they ain't at home. They over here in America. Come on, read.
Who enlargeth his desire as hell.
Come on.
And is as death.
And is as death. Read.
And cannot be satisfied.
Come on.
But gathereth unto him all nations.
He gathered what?
All nations.
That's why you have every nation here in America. The great melting pot. Jump down to verse 7.
Verse 7. Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee?
Those caterpillars that Cap was just talking about, they're going to rise up and bite thee. Come on.
And awake that shall vex thee.
That awake, when they wake up, they're going to start blowing up. It's going to be all over America. It's going to be everywhere. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. Prophesy, thus saith the Lord.
Right. All praises. And that first part about enlarge his board, that is talking about Esau. I know you were tying that in, but you're right. Wherever Esau is in them lands, the Arabs is right there. I was in the United Kingdom, and I could not believe the significant number of Arabs that I saw. Wow, there's Arabs all over the place. And that predominantly, you figure it's a white country. No. Wherever Esau's at, the Arabs is right there. The Arabs ain't trying to knock on the door to get into the Sudan. They don't really care, but they want to be where Esau's at, all right? The Lord going to put them there. The Lord has put them there to do his bidding. Now, go to the next one. It should be nice in order. Now, stop real quick. So, this is how proud Esau is. Esau is actually going in, it's the Al Sahel Hospital in Lebanon. And they're in the basement. And mind you, what has just happened, they evacuated the whole hospital. This is a hospital where they treat patients, like if you in New York City, Chicago, think of your biggest hospital. They have a large hospital. They had to evacuate all the patients. Watch, and now this guy's going in there trying to, like, it's just amazing the arrogance of Esau. All right, the way you figure it out is, can you imagine if, again, Mexico was coming in and say, listen, you better evacuate the hospital, we're going to blow it up. And now everybody in El Paso, Texas, or San Antonio's got to get all their loved ones out of the hospital because you're scared it's going to get bombed. And watch the arrogance of Esau. He's about to interview a doctor, all right, a Lebanese doctor. I think the Lebanese doctor went to school in Ireland. You can hear an accent. Play on.
Sahel Hospital on the outskirts of Dahir. Dahir, of course, is a stronghold of Hezbollah.
This is the BS nonsense. Esau, because this guy's repeating what the Israeli intelligence is creating out of thin air, saying, well, Hezbollah is in the basement. They're underneath the hospital. We got to blow it up. So we're going to tell everyone to get out, and then we're going to blow the hospital up. Well, guess what? When they're wrong, the hospital's still destroyed, so guess what you could do now? Well, someone's got to redevelop the land. You got to see the mindset of these people. They're desperately wicked, okay? And this is what Solomon, they're enlarging their border.
Right.
They're enlarging their borders.
Bring
Think
it up.
about it. Play.
It's alleged by the Israelis that this hospital is being used.
Sorry. See that BS? It's alleged. They don't even have facts. Allegedly, we think that Hezbollah is under the hospital. And by the way, these are coastal cities. They're not a back small country hospital in a mountainous region that services 300 people. This is prime real estate where they're bombing at.
Right.
Okay? Play.
Hezbollah as a way of storing gold and cash. Now, we've been invited in here. This tour has been in no way exhaustive. You can see there are lots of other press here as well. But we haven't been controlled in terms of what we can film or where we can point our camera. We've been allowed to open doors, move around. Now, there may be other areas of the hospital that we've not been taken to, but for all, this looks like a hospital. This is one of the operating theatres here. We can talk to one of the doctors. This is Dr. Omar, who is an emergency doctor.
Yes, here at Sahel Hospital.
So Israel says that this place is being used by Hezbollah for gold and cash. Yeah. What's your answer to that? What would you say?
Our answer to this is that these allegations are wholly unbased, and this is a hospital where people come to get treated. As you can see, this is an operating theater. People undergo surgery here.
Doctor, if you can show us a bit more around. And this is the basement where we are now.
Oh yeah, right now we're in the basement. This is the basement. This is where we send patients from operating rooms to the recovery room. This is a sterility store. So this is where we sterilize all the instruments that need to be sterilized for in order to perform surgeries.
And how worrying is this moment for you? Because you've had to evacuate the hospital.
Yes, we had to evacuate the hospital last night after the allegations. It was incredibly hard.
The power of this, he's a man, but he's a demon. Because you decided to create an allegation, you were able to call them up, said, we're going to bomb the hospital in 2 days. Now, with no proof, now everyone in the hospital, to include people on an ICU, which is intensive care units, people that are getting prepped for surgery, people that are recovering from surgery, they all have to leave. What about the women and infants? They all have to leave. That's not like, hey, guys, get your stuff and throw in this back of the station wagon. This is major, major logistics. And the doctor's like, this is crazy. Because the white men, so-called white men Israeli, can do whatever they want. Why? Because they know that the United States of America, a.k.a. Babylon the Great, is going to back them. We did a show 2 weeks ago. The International Court is finding Netanyahu guilty of war crimes. They can't even arrest. They cannot do anything to him. He's above international law.
Right.
Just like when George Bush took us, the dumb one, not the old one, that took us to war. There was a rally in D.C., I don't know if y'all remember, years ago.
Yes, sir.
In the United Nations, they were told not to go to war. George Bush went anyways.
Right.
The white man is above his own laws. He just does what he wants.
I was in the Army when that happened, Cap.
Right. Speak on it.
Hey, and I remember, as a matter of fact, I was stationed in Arizona. And at that time, they were saying, okay, don't go to war. And we was watching it on the news, but we ended up, going over there. And my first stop was Afghanistan, and I remember we coming in, flying into land at, not Bonstil, I'm getting Kosovo. But anyway, Bagram Air Force Base. As we were landing, we was taking on small arms fire at that time, just trying to land. So, hey, he put us in some situations.
The entire international community was against the U.S. going to war, and we went to war anyways. So that shows you that, according to Job 9:24, the earth is given unto the hand of the wicked, meaning he breaks rules, makes rules, and takes rules whenever he wants.
Right.
Go ahead, Officer Thomas.
I was just about to say that us showing this just shows you that they project what they want us to believe. And us here in America, We just believe whatever they want us to believe. Give me first Ezra chapter 5, verse 7-3. This is why we need shows like this to show the truth. Because our people are out here, they just blindly believing that Israel is the good guy, and Palestinians and the Arabs and all these people, they just evil and wicked. Not knowing that this has been a conflict that's been going on for years and years. October 7th wasn't what started this. Read that.
The book of First Ezra, chapter 5, verse 73. And by their secret plots and popular persuasions and commotions.
Secret plots and popular persuasion. That's their news media. That's how they get everything across. That's how they make everybody seem like, you know, these people is evil, and Israel and Hamas is under hospitals. They evacuating all these people. They killing civilians because of Hamas. Read it again, because of what?
And by their secret plots and popular persuasions and commotions.
Read on.
They hindered the finishing of the building.
So the part that I wanted was the secret plots and commotions. That's it.
Oh, pray. And that's their media. Because through their media, remember, Bishop Nathaniel taught a class years ago, and we continue to use that, showing the major media outlets. And it's also been talked about on other forums, where proving that the majority of media outlets are owned by Jewish, and it's not like that's not anti-Semitic to say, hey, look, the majority of soda drinking in the United States is a cola brand. You can just find statistics. The facts are the majority of media companies and corporations are owned by Jewish. So they could control the narrative. That's not anti-Semitic when you tell the truth. It's not anti-Semitic. It's the truth. So the narrative is, oh, just like Hamas was under hospitals, now Hezbollah, they got to be under hospitals. Without any proof. And there's rules and laws of engagement for war. They're breaking all of them. There was a guy named Norman Finkelstein. He studies at Israeli, Jerusalem University, one of them universities, and he said there's extensive rules of engagement for war in highly populated areas, and he said the Israelis are breaking every single protocol. And this was a white man who said that, all right? Next video. We got to fly tonight because we are running out of time. The next one. This is a video of allegedly the Israelis got attacked. But see if you can see a lot of damage in this video. Because, but they are getting touched. The Israelis are getting touched. Verse. Yes, exactly. Yes.
It's Yom Kippur here in Israel, and moments ago, a UAV struck this building, which is a senior citizen.
So pause. Those of you who, a UAV is an unmanned aerial vehicle, aka a drone. Just so you know, they have different series of drones. Some are drones that they will use to detonate, like a kamikaze drone we covered about a year and 2 years ago. Others will have munitions that they can drop and then go back to their fly point. So check this out. You can see there's a bunch of water on the floor, okay?
In the city of Herzliya. We are now taking care of all the civilians here. We're taking them into a safe location while we have our specialists operating on scene to remove that UAV. This is how Yom Kippur Eve looks in Israel. A senior citizens building that was attacked.
So one thing about Dick Thomas brought about the secret plots, I don't take him at his word. For him to say that, how do I know that's a senior citizen? You lie about everything else. So they play on senior citizens got attacked, but yet you killed 44,000 Palestinians, 2/3 of whom were women and children. You lie about everything.
It looked like he just got his phone out. It was FaceTime, and he was just walking around like this. He didn't walk through the hospital. He didn't do nothing. He was in pretty much a 10-foot area.
He looked like he was reading a script. Just looking at it.
They are liars. Get Deuteronomy chapter 33.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I believe it's the last verse. It says, your enemies shall be found liars.
Yes, sir, I got you, Captain. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 33, verse 29. Happy art thou, O Israel.
So, and this is not talking about the Israelis. This is talking about the real Israelites, which are the 12 tribes scattered through slavery, blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, and the diaspora scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Read on.
Who is like unto thee?
Everybody want to be like the black man. Everybody want to copy his dance. Everybody want to run like him. Everybody want to sing like him. Everyone want to have his understanding of just the way he carries himself.
Right.
Everybody. Read on.
O people saved by the Lord.
And we definitely need to be saved. They don't need to be saved. They're running, Netanyahu's basically running the United States of America right now. They control most of the industries, many of the industries,
right?
Okay, to include media. They need to be saved? Really? Read on.
The shield of thy help.
Come on.
And who is the sword of thine excellency?
Right. Come on.
And thine enemies shall be found liars unto thee.
Now, watch the next part. Read on.
And thou shalt tread upon their high places.
Their high places is where? The governments and the places where they rule highly. Esau, the skyscrapers and the places of desire. We're going to rule and take over everything. And guess what? When you say that, hey, we keep the commandments, God's going to fight for the blacks and Hispanics, it's laughable to the other nations. Yeah, right. Oh, wow. They can't even pull their pants up. Look at them over there. They can't even stay. They can't even take care of children. Right. They can't even stay married. They get AIDS. They kill their babies. Those people, that's why they're going to be found liars. And all of them are going to find out. And that's why we do shows like this to show you that you despite how hard it gets, you got to watch and pray. Watch what's going on around you. God is mustering up these Arabs with the Iranians, and we're going to show you World War III is coming soon. How am I looking, Nehemiah? We got to roll out the break already? All right, read on.
Well, that's in the chapter.
Go to the next video. We're right on time. Next video, please.
Ask you specifically about the Jerusalem Post.
Okay, now, hey, listen. This guy here, I got a bunch of timestamps. This guy here, this is Pierce, I think Morgan.
Pierce Morgan.
He's what they would call in Esau's world, he tries to be a fair journalist, but the guy that's being interviewed is an Egyptian Arab. And this guy is sharp as hell. And he's playing with Pierce Morgan's mind right now.
Right.
And Arabs is at home cheering him on. Okay? Don't get it twisted. Arabs, whether you're Egyptian, United Arab Emirates, Iraqi, if you're a New York City Arab, they all have a common enemy. Even the Saudis who are in bed economically with the white man, they, in their hearts, they hate what's happening to the Palestinian and the Lebanese. They can't stand it. They know what they're doing is evil. Play.
Repeatedly of anti-Semitism. What do you say to that? I mean,
well, everybody is an anti-Semite in the eyes of Israel.
You think you are or not?
What is anti-Semitism?
Somebody who has a hatred of Jewish people because of their Jewish ethnicity?
Good. Where did I show that kind
I'm
of
just asking
Jewish people?
How do you feel about Jewish people?
I mean, should I go to do the white man thing? Like, most of my friends are Jewish.
No. How do you feel about...
You catch that? So I didn't catch it the second time. What white people say, and I've witnessed it many times myself, brothers in this room probably, Northern Kingdom too. I'm not racist. I have 2 black friends.
Right.
So he was saying in that, you want me to do the white man thing? And he's playing because he understands that what the Palestinian Arabs are going through, that's why he said the white man thing, because everybody knows, to the point is, everybody knows the black people get shit on the most on this planet Earth.
Right.
Even more than the Arabs do. Now, they catching hell right now, for sure. But rewind it just a little bit, because Pierce is so stupid he didn't even get it. He didn't even understand what he just dissed him.
Where did I show that kind
I'm
of
just asking
Jewish people?
How do you feel about Jewish people?
I mean, should I go to do the white man thing? Like, most of my friends are Jewish.
No. How do you feel about Jewish people?
Like any other people. Like any other people. What are you talking about?
When you've been accused of
So I've been accused of being a CIA.
Yeah, I'm not saying you're
operative.
guilty. I'm just saying you've been
No,
accused.
I've been
of
accused
it.
of so many things. You've been accused of so many things
Of course,
too, right?
And it's annoying.
Like, and then the thing is,
If you're not that person.
anti-Semitism has turned into, if you criticize Israel, you're anti-Semitic.
I agree.
Yeah, so it's
been used as a protective shield against criticism.
This is a long interview. We're gonna go. We have like 3 or 4 timestamps, and he makes some very strong points. If you get a chance, check this guy. Let me sit up. Check this guy and see what he is about. All right, he don't hold his tongue. The Arab dude, he's pretty sharp.
What I noticed, Cap, is they always trying to get sympathy for the Jews. First thing you ask them is, how do you feel about the Jews? Like, why they got to have so much sympathy? Well, they're not nobody. They not even, half of their people not even getting killed over there. It's his people that's getting killed, and he talking about how you feel about the Jews.
And not only that, why do you think Pierce is asking that? Because I wonder who controls the production of that show.
Right.
Okay. And he's right. And it's a setup. It's a setup. That is that preeminence. That is that that everywhere they go, they are just so damn preeminent. They got to have the preeminence in everything. Play.
Can you buy into any of their logic that they believe they are defending themselves?
Okay.
Do you believe them that they believe that?
What he's saying is, do you believe that the Israelis are defending themselves? Now he's going to break down the history, and eventually he's going to go on back to 1917 with the Balfour Declaration. He starts to break it down. And a lot of these, this is the problem, and what I've found, and this is not a general statement. This is true from my experiences in life. I have never met a white person in my entire life who ever could just take accountability rationally without getting defensive and actually acknowledge. And at one point with a follow-up question, they'll end up getting mad at you when you're just trying to talk about history. So, and Pierce, he fits the bill. Unfortunately, their mind will not allow them to see past, because everything's set up for them. This whole society is a racist system set up to support them. We don't have the same rights that they do. Okay, and they know that. And inherently they understand that. That's why they ask stupid questions. And then when he comes back, he's going to break it down. He just doesn't get it. Play.
Test. So if Israel is defending itself, it's defending itself against an imminent danger, like an existential threat. I don't understand if, for example, Macron would announce that he will impose an embargo in Israel's arms, and then Israel goes and bombs the French oil.
He's saying so much heavy stuff. Now, what he just said is that Macron, who is the president of France, he put an embargo on Israel. So a white country, this is where the house divided shall not stand. NATO they're already being divided. The French is a huge economy in the EU, right? They embargoed Israel. Watch what Israel does to French property. Play it again.
And if, for example, Macron would announce that he will impose an embargo in Israel's arms, and then Israel goes and bombs the French oil facilities in Lebanon, how is that defending?
So in Lebanon, they bombed a French oil facility. So this shows you that it doesn't matter. If you go against the Israeli, you go against the program, even if you're white, they're going to bomb your stuff. And that's why Macron was speaking up against them, just like the people from Ireland. The Irish white folks are talking big-ish against the Israeli, but they don't have any power. They have no power. France has power. So they say, you want to criticize us? You want to do an embargo? You want to stop us? Boom. We'll blow your multi-million-dollar facility to smithereens. Boom. Just blow it up. And it's nothing France can do about it. At an international, nothing they can do about it. Go ahead.
Hey, what you just said made me think about, let's go to 2 Maccabees chapter 6 and verse 9. Because of the fact that Esau didn't like that Esau told him that he was wrong, hey, man, let's read this, because this is amazing. They don't like to be wrong. Read.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 6, verse 9.
Come on.
And whoso would not conform themselves to the manner of the Gentiles.
So if you don't want to conform to what we're doing, if you don't agree with it, come on.
Should be put to death.
Well, maybe no French people were put to death, but they still bombed the area. Who knows? There might have been some French civilians there. So they didn't agree with it, so they bombed them.
And that's heavy. Now, we got 2 more time tense, and we're going to go to break. So, do we finish that second one? Okay.
There's like a group of American doctors who were in Gaza and came back, and they reported seeing tens of children with sniper shots in their heads and necks. How is that defending themselves?
So, in order to, a sniper shot is a long range with a powerful rifle. So, these are white or Caucasian American doctors, maybe a couple was black, but most of them are white doctors. They're reporting these findings that he said, we would normally say dozens and dozens. In his culture, he says tens of. There are 10, so there's probably 100 or so of these children they're not getting shrapnel wounds. They're getting their heads blown off. They're getting holes in them by sniper rifles, high-powered rifles.
Damn.
And they're reporting this. Guess who's doing it? The Israelis are doing it.
Right.
But why is that not being all over the media?
Right.
Well, doesn't that go against the power structure? If I own all the media, or a large majority of it, right, couldn't I control? Because if that was Israeli children that were getting sniper rifles, it would be on every station, everywhere, 24/7.
Right.
Shalom.
And it was also proven that that some of the first allegations on October 7th about them killing babies and other things were proven to be false as well.
Right.
So they make up stuff, and hostage taking is wrong, death is wrong, murder is wrong. We're not saying that. We don't wish death on any Israelis or death on any Palestinians for that matter. But when you lie and fabricate the truth to begin with, then you cover up lies and you're sniping out children.
Right.
And white doctors are reporting this, not Palestinian Arabs. Go ahead. You want to say something?
Yeah, yes, sir. Cap, that goes into that nation of fierce countenance that won't regard the old or the
Bring
young.
it out. Deuteronomy 28.
Yes, sir.
Verse 50 something.
Yes, sir.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28.
Should be
And verse 50.
Verse 50.
No, not yet. Yeah, verse 50.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 50.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 50. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
That's it right there. That's the spirit of these people.
Right.
The lies and also the viciousness, the merciless. That's all characteristics of Esau and Amalek. That's all I got, Cal.
That's it. And that scripture is so powerful. And mainly, we have been on the receiving end of that.
Right.
But his nature is, when you read in Genesis, war. War is in his mind. So listen, that's a future Hamas. That's a future Hezbollah. In their mind, we just saved our children from a future Hezbollah fighter. Now we got some stuff. One more time stamp. We're gonna dead this video, and we're gonna go to break. And we got a lot more to cover, and we're gonna run out of time.
In power or government going forward for a group like Hamas after what they did on October the 7th. Would you agree with me?
Well, I'm not a Palestinian, so I cannot really...
What's your view?
Well, what's my view? Yeah, I understand the view of... Well, there's two things about it. First of all, when you say that Netanyahu and Smotrich and Ben Gvir should go, it's as if as the rest of the Israeli political scene
Pause. Listen very carefully what he said, what he's about to say. He said that we know that a lot of people want Netanyahu and the top officials to go. But then he makes a comment about the rest of the Jewish Israelis, right, who predominantly are Caucasian, right? There are a few. Watch what he says about the vast majority of them and how they feel. And what this guy's saying is true. Listen.
As a matter of fact, more than 90% of Israelis in a poll said that they should do more in Gaza. Over 70% of Israelis said that they should actually stop the aid, the humanitarian aid in Gaza.
So,
but let's talk.
Do you see how horrible that is? These are polls taken. 90% of the population said that they should do more to bomb Gaza. That's why you said earlier they have parties. Thomas, I think they have parties celebrating what they're doing. Also, 70%, so 30% of them say, well, just allow these sand niggas, these Arabs, let them have a little bit of water. 70% don't want any aid to get in. They're fighting at the level of the United Nations, and they're protesting in the streets of America for ceasefire. They're camping out at universities in the United States of America and abroad for a ceasefire and to bring humanitarian aid. And 70% of the Israelis are saying, don't give them no aid. Keep bombing the crap out of them. That's the way they're sick. God created them to rule with an iron fist evil, just like the Egyptians. He's going to harden these people's heart, and he's going to bring on the bombs. Okay? Play on. We're almost done.
Yeah, I understand the thing. Like, if you gave them a state, it would be rewarding terrorists, right? And we understand, like, I mean, I have to be fair. I know that a lot of Arabs will hate me for saying this, but like, yeah, terrorism has been actually going in the Middle East for a very long time. I mean, do you remember the bombing of the King David Hotel? 92 British soldiers were killed. The bombing of the Cairo Haifa train, over 200 soldiers, British soldiers killed. The assassination of Volker Bernadotte or Lord Moyen, all done by Israelis.
Stop. What I don't know if y'all see what he's doing. He's using white on white crime in front of this dude Pierce. And Pierce, he's cutting the hell out of him. He's like, yeah, you're right. Terrorism is going on. So what he wants them to talk about is the terrorism that, the Arabs, and they're blowing their chest up and blowing buses up. Well, they've been oppressed for 108 years, something like 107 years, since 1917. But he's saying, no, the Israelis have killed a lot of white British people as well. You're right, there is terrorism with the Israelis. And he does it so slick that he allows them to say it because Pierce doesn't catch it. And if he does catch it, it was too late. So, play on.
Good point. Yeah, I think the Palestinians had done a grave mistake for not accepting the settlement that they were given by the UN partition. I mean, they were given 47% of their land. And I mean, let's go back. The Balfour Declaration was 1917. At the time, there were 60,000 Jewish people living in a 700,000 population, which means...
So and we're almost going to break. Out of 700,000 people were Arabs, right? And 60,000 were Jewish people that had came in right around the time of 1917. And he's about to say that shortly after, they were given the majority of the land with small numbers. And he's being very facetious. Yeah, they should have accepted it. He's stating the facts historically on a very popular show, and he's dropping, and this guy's smart. And Pierce is just either that dumb or that pompous that he can't get what the hell he's talking about. But the Arabs that's watching is like, yeah, stick it to his ass, stick it to his ass. Play.
That number jumped from 8% to 30% after the Second World War and the Holocaust. Now, imagine yourself being a Palestinian, you're having all of these refugees coming to you, and then they're forming gangs and stealing your land and killing you. And then the UN said, like, I know what we can do. I'm going to give the people who just arrived 30 years ago 53 of the land, and I'm going to give the people who are already there.
When he says 53, he's talking about, he leaves words out. He says 53%. So if we're going to break next. So what happens is, he's like, yeah, in 1917, there was 60,000, 80,000, and we were 700,000. 30 years later, after the Holocaust, World War II ended in 1945, the influx of Jewish people and the repatriation of so-called Zionism and Theodore Herzl, they came to the land, and then Britain stepped in and said, this is how we're going to do it. The 70%, there's 30% Jewish at the time, 30% got 53% of the land. So 70% of land had to stay in the minority of land. He said, yeah, we should have took that, Pierce. You're right. He's showing you how horrible it was, and it's even significantly worse today in 2024.
Right.
And showing how pompous that this is the nature of Esau. This is the nature of Esau. It doesn't matter if you're from Denmark, the Netherlands, Scotland, Israel, if you are Australian, if you're American, Edomite, that is who they are. It doesn't change. So, look, when we come back, we're going to go, we're skipping kingdom music, and we skipped Bible verses. When we come back after break, we're going to get right into the second half of the show. Stick around and share the link. Shalom.
Hey, shalom, Israel, Most High in Christ bless. My name is Captain Shem, IUIC New Orleans. Help us to grow. YouTube page, subscribe, like, share, hit the bell notification. And now it's even easier, y'all.
Hey, and also part of New Orleans camp, we got the community cleanups. Cleaning up our neighborhood one at a time.
What y'all waiting for? Subscribe.
What are you waiting for? Subscribe! There's so much wrong going on in the world, but somehow we keep it all smile.
Subscribe and follow us on all social media accounts. We got TikTok, we got Twitter, we got Rumble, and YouTube. Make sure y'all follow IUIC New Orleans. Shalom.
Hey, also, we got flyer missions every day and also camp videos. Check us out, IUIC New Orleans.
So remember, go to our YouTube page, subscribe, like, share, and don't forget the QR code. When the QR code comes out, don't forget to take your phone out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Why isn't it done? Shalom, Israel.
Shalom Israel, Most High in Christ, bless Bishop Nathaniel here. Hey, March 2025, we're going to have a land blitz fundraiser. So what I need you all to do is hit the QR code, whatever that thing is right there, fill it out on all our social media platforms, because we blitzing. We need this land. We got to get this fundraiser done, Israel. I'm trusting you. Get it done.
Cap, what's a land blitz fundraiser? Exactly what it is. We blitzing for the land. One day, with a large goal, we're gonna raise the funds for the land. That's my goal, that's my mission, and we're gonna make it happen. And I need your help to get it done. There's a link on the Bishop's Instagram and all of our social medias. Click on that link and fill it out. What you're going to do is, you're going to estimate what amount of donation you can make on this one day. On that day, you can also make random donations. But those of you that are watching this video now, we want to get an estimate of how hard we're going to have to go when we blitz. There will also be an in-house event. Y'all remember the Journey to Freedom? This is going to be bigger and better, live from Atlanta. You better get your tickets now, because probably after this announcement, it's going to be sold out. Only 400 tickets. But guess what? All the funds are going to the land. So get it now. Get it now.
Live in biblical experiences through royalty films. Don't just read the Bible, we live it. For more content, donate at royaltyfilms.com.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. We're seeking your assistance to enhance our national broadcast. Kindly spare a minute to provide feedback by answering 5 brief questions.
Hey, Shalom Israel, Most High in Christ, bless Bishop Nathaniel here. Hey, March 2025, we're going to have a Land Blitz fundraiser. So what I need you all to do is hit the QR code, whatever that thing is right there, fill it out on all our social media platforms, because we blitzing. We need this land. We got to get this fundraiser done, Israel. I'm trusting you. Get it done.
Cap, what's a Land Blitz fundraiser? Exactly what it is. We blitzing for the land. One day, with a large goal, we're gonna raise the funds for the land. That's my goal, that's my mission, and we're gonna make it happen. And I need your help to get it done. There's a link on the Bishop's Instagram and all of our social medias. Click on that link and fill it out. What you're going to do is, you're going to estimate what amount of donation you can make on this one day. On that day, you can also make random donations. But those of you that are watching this video now, we want to get an estimate of how hard we're going to have to go when we blitz. There will also be an in-house event. Y'all remember the Journey to Freedom? This is going to be bigger and better, live from Atlanta. You better get your tickets now, because probably after this announcement, it's going to be sold out. Only 400 tickets. But guess what? All the funds are going to the land. So get it now. Get it now.
Hey, Shalom Israel, Most High in Christ, bless Bishop Nathaniel here. Hey, March 2025, we're going to have a land.
Biblical experiences through royalty films. Don't just read the Bible, we live it. For more content, donate at royaltyfilms.com.
Hey, Shalom, as a welcome back to Precept Upon Precept. Check it out if you're just joining us. Click the thumbnail real quick. We have another half hour. Tonight is about an hour and 40-minute show. The dragons are coming back. Israel under attack. And we're going to show you right now that we're leading up to World War III. Go to the next time-stamped video. All right. Actually, no, I'm sorry. This is just a straight play. Sorry. This is former Marine Corps officer in chief, former United Knife chief weapons inspector. So when this guy speaks, he's speaking from a place where he was one of the guys over there inspecting the weapons of mass destruction. And he realized throughout his career that a lot of the stuff that the U.S. does is BS. And he's going to break it down about this topic play.
Has announced that a drone flown by or dispatched by Hezbollah killed 4 IDF members, all of whom were 19 years old, injured more than 70. Larry Johnson's sources revealed that one of the seriously injured was an Israeli.
You know what I realize? This is the thing about white power structure. How come they never show pictures of Palestinian teenagers that get killed? How come we don't see pictures of brown-skinned Arabs in their story. There was 19, he did this, Johnny did this, that. There are tens of thousands of why can't we see their pictures? But if human life is important, but they value white life much more than they do brown life. And we the worst ones, but they don't care about the Arabs. They're not white. They're beneath them. That's how they see everybody.
You're absolutely right, Cap, because just based on the name of the show, it's called Judging Freedom Podcast. So they judge their own freedom based on what they do to other people.
Right. And the ironic thing, Sal, you're right. The ironic thing about this is this guy here, and this is even though he speaks up against the injustices, like Scott Ritter and Douglas McGregor, they dog out Netanyahu and all of the white power structure, but they directly benefit from it. Everywhere they go, they are the recipient of white privilege.
Right.
Everywhere you go. And a lot of you light-skinned Negroes at home who actually think that they like you and accept you, just get over it now.
Right.
They call you nigger behind your back too.
Right.
They just try to make you feel like they like you. But that's even more. I would rather have you say, I'd rather you look down and not look at me, and I would rather have you do that. So don't fall for the okie doke.
Right.
All right. Play on.
General, how serious a blow is this? The numbers are relatively small given the numbers of people that the IDF have slaughtered in Gaza.
Pause.
And even
Over 43,000 to be exact. And like Thomas said, 1,800 in Lebanon, not to mention the fact that just imagine if 1,800 people died in New Orleans since last month. Whoa. 18, not black on black crime, but people dying from bombs hitting New Orleans. Like, how would that affect you? You got to live around that. They're getting bombed daily. That affects their whole mindset. Walking down the street, am I going to get bombed today? Is my building going to get bombed? We just saw a bomb drop in a residential flat, like Solomon said, right? And blew the whole damn thing up during the daylight in a suburb. Come on, man.
Right.
They evacuated a hospital. They go in, there's nothing there, and they're destroying hospitals. But then the Israeli has a little bit of water on the floor of a senior center. I didn't see any damage other than the water on the floor. It just shows you that we're dealing with a man that is unjust.
Hey, Cal, let me get a script. Let me get Psalms chapter 10, verse 5, because like you say, these people don't care about nothing but their agenda. They don't care about whatever nobody got going on. It's all about what they want to push their agenda. Psalms 10, if I read that real quick.
The book of Psalms, chapter 10, verse 5. His ways are always grievous.
No, it's just sometimes.
Always grievous.
The Bible says his ways is always grievous. They always burdensome. Read on.
Thy judgments are far above out of his sight.
They don't care about no damn judgment. They just going to fulfill their will. They going to do whatever they want to do. Read on.
As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them.
He don't got no damn enemy. Whatever enemies he got, he don't care about them. He puffeth at them. And that's exactly what they doing with the Palestinians. They puffing at them. That's all I got.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you right now, there's no judgment in the land when Esau's in control. That's why in Isaiah says even the fir trees will rejoice.
Right.
Everything, the animals, the plants, everything. Tree have a spirit. Everything is like, we want this guy to go away. We want the real rulers of the earth. Finish this up. We're going to miss a couple of things. It's okay.
in Lebanon. But for the Israeli military and the Israeli people, how significant is this event?
It's the shock of having Hezbollah inflict casualties on an Israeli base that wasn't on the front line. It shows that Hezbollah can reach out and touch Israel at any time, and that Israel will never have a moment's rest. That's the shock. Israel is not a nation that's accustomed to fighting wars where they suffer, lots of casualties. And this is a war that's been going on for more than a year now. So, this kind of loss just piles on the loss they had the day before, the two losses they had the week before, the losses. And so the cumulative impact of these casualties is is devastating to the morale of the Israeli people.
The IDF has apparently attacked UN peacekeepers. Do you know of any instance in which a UN member nation has attacked UN peacekeepers in another country?
So Israel does it on a regular basis. When I was
Paul, so we're gonna, for interest of time, Esau, the Israelis, attack other United Nations countries, and guess what? A lot of them are white folks. They do not care. And the reason why it's being brought up is because they were white folks. Look, this is wrong. Even some of our own guys are getting it, man. Because Netanyahu, through Washington, D.C. and through London, through these elite, ultra-rich, multi-billion and trillionaires, they run the earth. They control media. They control the narrative, what you think. And this is why you have to go outside the box to different news sources and filter it all through the Bible. And that's what we try to do for you tonight.
Right.
Next article. We're going to read this real quick. This is heavy because remember, and I'm speeding this up, remember the last wave of countries that came in, Iran was one of the ones that came into BRICS. And China facilitated the beef. They've had beef since 2016. Pull up the map of the Middle East like I asked you to get, please. These are one of the two largest, most powerful and sophisticated countries in the Persian Gulf, Saudi Arabia and Iran. And they're doing a joint military naval exercise. Perfect. Look at the size of Iran. Look at the size of Saudi Arabia. And all that separates them is the Persian Gulf. And check it out. The Saudi Arabians have the most oil out of that whole region. That's the Arabian Peninsula. Saudi Arabia takes up about 75 to 80% of the Arabian Peninsula. That is the oil-rich field right there. That's why they don't get bombed. That's why Saudi Arabia doesn't get bombed, because the petrodollar went through them. Remember, we did a show on that, a couple of shows. They got money. But guess what? Now China came in, they actually opened up embassies in one other's country again. And now they're doing a joint military exercise in the Persian Gulf. That shows what? That the dragons of Arabia are doing what? They're remembering
their nature.
Wait, this guy's the devil. This guy's destroying 44,000 Palestinians. He's bombing the Lebanese brothers. He's destroying the ones in Gaza. Listen, man. And they're starting to come together economically. BRICS just had their summit. Today, their summit's going on today and yesterday.
Yep.
Today. I could do a 3-hour show tonight. But in interest of time, what's our time on deck? Okay, let's read it real quick, please.
The Arab Weekly. Saudi Arabia holds joint naval exercise with Iran in Sea of Oman in de-escalation bid.
So it wasn't the Persian Gulf. The Sea of Oman is off the coast of Oman. Read on.
Saudi Arabia had a military exercise with Iran and other countries recently in the Sea of Oman. The Saudi Defense Ministry spokesman said in a statement to the AFP Wednesday, the two Middle East rivals...
Stop. Why did they say the two Middle East rivals? Because for years they were almost on the verge of war.
Right.
China, who is using all its diplomatic skills, I'm very tired, y'all. Diplomacy and diplomatic tactics is uniting all countries over the world. They're running Eastern Africa. China is, look at your shirt, look at your toys in your house for your kids, look at your cars, look at your car parts, look at your tools. It's made in China. That's why Trump is running this thing where if he gets elected, we're going to bring these factories back to America. I'm putting tariffs on all these international products that's being imported in, okay? That's the whole thing. China is used, and guess where the national currency headquarters is for BRICS? In China, not Russia, in China. And they're holding y'all got to get with the times. Today is the BRICS summit in Russia. Guess who's there? The president of Iran, the president of China, the president of
Yeah, they also had the United Arab.
Yes.
United Arab has just started with them too.
Yes, United Arab. That's Dubai, the big city, Dubai.
United
UAE.
And at the conference cap, so what they're telling people is to come with U.S. dollars and transfer it into the euro. I mean, not the euro, the ruble, and what's the Chinese?
Yen.
The yen. They're telling people to transfer from the dollar to the yen and the ruble so they could get away from the dollar. And they trying to do it now. They not waiting. They trying to move that money now.
This whole conference in Russia, the BRICS conference, is set up because they are going to be the alternative to the U.S. dollar. Remember, the Saudis are like, look, the petrodollar is no more. Before, every single oil transaction had to go through the U.S. dollar. And the Saudis supported that. And why would the Saudis have to support it? That's where the most oil comes from. That area we just put on the map. Now, we're going to jump on. Go to number, finish that article real quick. I'm sorry. Yes.
The two Middle East rivals, which have long backed opposing sides in conflict zones across the region, severed diplomatic ties in 2016. However, Shia-dominated Iran and Sunni-majority Saudi Arabia.
Now stop. This is very important. Most people do not know this. Most people don't care. Pull up the next article about the difference between the Shiite and Sunni.
Right.
The problem with the Arabs is this. One of the problems is they're divided ever so about a lineage issue. And the Sunnis and the Shiites are divided. They have many things in common, but this is one thing that divides them. They're all Islam, right? But this is the difference. Read.
Sunni and Shia Muslims share many central beliefs, including a belief in the oneness of Allah, Tawhid, and that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him and his family, was the final messenger of Allah, who received divine revelations recorded in the Holy Quran.
You know what's great about the Israelites is that we are the prophets of the Lord, and we didn't die with Muhammad. The prophets in this room right now, we out on the corners, and we came back. Jeremiah, Habakkuk, we're all back. And we don't know who's who, but we've been here before.
Right.
So we're still living. And that's the difference. And that's why, listen, it's not an attack on Islam. Islam, that's their religion of the Arabs. We get it. That's their God, Allah, which was from many gods. They used to have 366 gods. We understand that. We've only had one God, the one true God, the Most High God. And this God, because of our sins, he put us through hell and back. And now when we return to him, he's going to cause a third world war using Russia, North Korea, China, Babylon the Great, Israel, and he's going to do all for us. And it's written in the Bible. And we are the prophets who are going to say that. So that's the difference. So get to the part, and I got to move on with the difference. I know. Thank you.
The main difference between Sunni and Shia Muslims is based on whether or not they believe that the Prophet Muhammad explicitly designated a successor.
So they're basically, look, one group believes, well, we believe Muhammad did designate someone to come after him. And the other group says, no, it stopped with him. Read on.
Sunni Muslims believe that the Prophet did not explicitly declare a successor. Shia Muslims believe that the Prophet publicly designated his cousin and son-in-law, Hazrat Allah, peace be upon him, as the first in line of the hereditary imams from the Prophet's family to lead the community after him.
Do Sunni, and then we'll do Shiite.
Sunni Muslims. Sunnis consider...
Actually, in interest of time, sorry, Zadat, y'all read out on your own. Just know that the two most powerful and sophisticated countries that were beefing with each other, one is Shiite, one is Sunni. And it's over a little lineage. To them, it's a big deal. But they still believe in the Quran. They still believe in Allah. And they still are Arabs, the sons of Ishmael.
Right.
And this is why it's harder for them to remember. But they're going to say, nah, brother, but I am a Sunni. You are Shiite. But wait, we are from the same line. Our fathers, remember, thousands of years ago. This white man is the enemy. Look what he's doing to our other. But he's a Shiite. But brother, they're killing up 44,000. They're going to remember the nature. They're not only going to come together on one mind, they're going to come together economically. BRICS is starting that right now. You cannot make, right now, the world is changing economic, right now.
Right.
Right today, now in Russia, right now. And they're not talking about in the mainstream media. They're talking about Trump and Harris, what's her lineage, where she's from, is her father, is he Trump? Oh, Trump this. Biden said today that Trump should be shot or no, locked up. He said Trump needs to be locked up. And that's all over the news.
They're talking about Diddy, Cap.
And his baby Earl.
Right. They're talking about Diddy. Diddy is the scapegoat face, whereas many of these executive, I remember one guy, Terry Crews, said there was one of his movie conglomerate, one of the guys at a party, Jewish guy,
Right.
walked up and grabbed him by the sack
Right.
in front of everybody. Said, "What are you doing? Oh, what are you
In
doing?"
front of his wife.
Yo, you saw the thing?
Yes,
Terry
sir.
Crews, big black brother, right? Showing you how they roll. It's this Hollywood has so many layers of evil. Puff Daddy got involved with that. That's why Scripture said, "Never trust your enemies." He should have never. As soon as he saw the wicked ways and all that sex and all that BS, he should have said, "No, I'm here to make black music. I'm here to." He got in with them, and now he's the scapegoat. He's the scapegoat, and that's why a lot of people disassociate. Anyways, next article, next video. I'm trying to go fast.
In West Asia, reports are emerging stating that Iran and Saudi Arabia are planning to conduct joint military exercises in the Red Sea. The Iranian media has quoted Iran's...
Now one person saying the Sea of Oman, another person saying the Red Sea. Remember we just heard before it was, but we know that they are differing reports. It is in the region. Read on.
Naval Commander Admiral Saram Irani saying that Saudi Arabia has asked that they organize joint exercises, but this has not been confirmed by Riyadh yet. Reportedly, the Iranian admiral has also said that coordination is now underway on how to conduct the exercises and that delegations...
So remember, Tehran is the capital of Iran. You're gonna hear Tehran. All you're gonna hear Beirut, Lebanon, and Tehran. You're gonna keep hearing that. Keep hearing that. Play on.
Countries will hold the necessary consultations. These joint drills would be the first of their kind for the two rival nations. Remember, Shiite Muslim-dominated Iran and Sunni-majority Saudi Arabia have several...
So the Sunnis are Saudi Arabia and the Shiites. And this is why I would always say to myself, even 20, 30 years ago, so why don't they come together? I used to ask, why are they not united? They're all Arabs. You can see they all look similar. They got the same religion. And God put that thing, the Most High did that. I'm going to make them differ because of a little lineage. I'm going to divide them. They're the same exact people, same sons. But then in the last day, I'm going to make them forget about that. And I'm going to raise them up right in front. And he's doing that right now. And guess what? Right now, I wish we had more time. Right now, Russia is in Iran helping to train the soldiers of Iran and equip them for war, major warfare. Russian weapons, Russian reinforcements, all of that. And then Russia also now has North Korea troops that they have been training bilaterally for years and years because Russia and North Korea share a border, all right? The point is that a lot of these other nations that have nuclear capabilities, they're aligning with Russia, they're aligning with Iran, and guess what? They have one common enemy. And who's behind the screen? Babylon the Great is behind all of this. Through NATO on the Ukraine front and through Israel on the Middle Eastern front.
Hey, Cam.
Crazy. Yes, sir.
Also, with Riyadh, we actually, when I was stationed in Arizona, they would have a rotation to go to Riyadh. There's an Air Force base, Prince Sultan Air Force Base in Riyadh, and it's still active to this day. So when that man, he sits on many waters, he's there as well too, but it's not going to work out for him.
So look, we got two more. I'm going to get to number 10. I want to finish 10, and then I got a motivating video at the end. 10 is it's going to take about 10 minutes, so we're going to timestamp start at 9:18. This is we have him. This guy, I'll tell you, this guy is sharp. It's Colonel Douglas McGregor, U.S. Army colonel. He is a military historian. He knows his stuff. And Esau don't like this. They'll never, ever put this dude on mainstream news. They would never put this guy. He would tear them up. Play.
Hamas.
No.
Here's somebody who just
rewind it because he asked the question. The question he asked, and then McGregor says, no. But what he asks him is, watch the answer he gives him.
Has Israel defeated Hamas?
No.
Here's somebody who disagrees with you. Our colleague, Ambassador Charles Freeman, refers to this person as the worst Secretary of State since World War II. Cut number 16.
Israel has achieved most of its strategic objectives when it comes to Gaza, all with the idea of making sure that October 7th could never happen again. In the space of a year, it's managed to dismantle Hamas's military capacity. It's destroyed a bunch of its arsenal. It's eliminated its senior leadership, including, most recently, Yahya Sinwar. This has come at the cost, great cost, to Palestinian civilians in Gaza. Now is the time to turn those successes into an enduring strategic success. And there are really two things left to do. Get the hostages home and bring the war to an end with an understanding of what will follow.
Is he credible? Netanyahu will never bring the hostages home. Then there's no reason for war.
Well, let's understand something. Everyone in the world today, not just in the Middle East, but virtually everyone, views Blinken as Netanyahu's point man. And that's what he is. Our government is being hijacked. There's no one up there directing much of anything. They are, along with the government in London, by the way, they are all
Pause.
100%.
Now that's scriptural. What does he mean? He says, our government has been hijacked. They don't control anything. Get Jeremiah. There's two. I think it's 51, 54. It says the least of the flock will draw them out. This is how you know that what he's saying is true. How could the smaller flock draw out the big guy to go to war? Because he's in control. Netanyahu, remember, the Jewish people in this country have a lot of power in media and all that. You can just I didn't have it written down. I want the one to fit 50. There's two of them. Let me look at it. Wait a minute. 5045.
Yes, sir. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 45.
We brought this out in at least 3 shows. Captain Matthews brought it out. We multiple times we brought this out on, and we're going to keep bringing it out. Read.
Therefore, hear ye the counsel of the Lord, that he had taken against Babylon.
Against Babylon. So the whole thing is about Babylon. That means that this flock is Babylon's flock. Read on.
And his purpose is that he had...
What is his purpose? He wanted to control the whole land. He wanted to control that whole region. He wants a disabled Arab Middle East. And he must say, well, we want to get Gaza with reinforcements. They don't want none of that. They want Beirut, all that destroyed so that they can control the resources. They can control the oil. They can control the mineral rights. They control all of that. Plus, remember, we said before that you have the Suez Canal that links the Red Sea down onto the Indian Ocean. They want to build another canal that, pull up the map of the Middle East. These devils they want nothing but to control that region. Check this out. Pull up the map of the Middle East. Watch this. So if you look at Egypt, okay, they man-made channeled through to create the Suez Canal. You can see it, and it goes into the Red Sea. They want, look at that peninsula right there, right? Look at Eilat, blow it up. You see E-L-A-T, that port city, Eilat? What they want to do is forgo that, because remember, Egypt controls that, right? If they dig a canal that goes instead of shifting left, they shift right. They're going to dig that, guess what? Right through, guess what country? And guess where they want to exit it out? Right through the Gaza Strip. Wouldn't that be convenient if you could say that there was Hamas did all this crazy stuff and fabricated so you could start a war? And they've leveled Gaza. They have leveled not most of them. They leveled a huge percentage of the buildings of Gaza. Huge percentage. All right? Now you can do what? You can create that. Now, if you have another way to get from the Mediterranean Sea all the way to the Red Sea and the ocean, wouldn't that make you a whole lot of money? All the ships that pass through there?
Yes, sir.
Esau, that is guess what? And I wouldn't be surprised. I'm going to make a prediction, right? I wouldn't be surprised if after they build it, if the Suez Canal just got destroyed.
Wow.
Now, the only way you can get from the Mediterranean Sea to the Red Sea is through the white man's new canal.
Right.
You got to see this man is diabolical. Diabolical. Look, last video. We ain't got time to go in anymore because we're getting ready to shut the show down. This last video, this should put perspective on Isaiah 34. I might have to go 10 more minutes. Give me Isaiah chapter 34, verse 4. I want you to think of this scripture while we play this next video. And I'm going to do a very short law back attack tonight.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 34, verse 4.
I want you to think, okay, imagine Isaiah sitting there. He's sitting there leaning against a rock thousands of years ago. The Lord dealing with him. He's about to write stuff down. Close your eyes and think about what he's thinking about. Read on.
And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved.
One verse above Zediah.
Yes, sir. Their slain also shall be cast out.
Cast out, read on.
And their stink shall come up out of their carcasses.
Right, that means a whole lot of dead people, a whole lot of smell. Read on.
And the mountains shall be melted with their blood.
The mountain melted with their blood. What does that mean? Major destruction. Watch the next part.
And all the host of heaven shall be.
Isaiah sees the host of heaven. He don't know how to describe it, but he sees there's a bunch of hosts up there in heaven, and he's trying to figure it out. Read on.
Shall be dissolved.
That
and
means
the heavens.
If they're dissolved, what does that mean? They're no more. So he's describing it. Watch this.
And the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll.
When he says heavens, he's looking up at the sky. He's not looking on the ground. He's looking at the sky, and he sees the heavens. And what happened?
And all their hosts shall fall down.
Right, but it doesn't say rolled up like a scroll.
And all the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll.
What does that mean? Ancient scrolls go up and then they come down, and that is exactly what a thermonuclear mushroom cloud looks like. Isaiah saw it happen. He saw the destruction, and he's writing it down. He had a vision. You got to understand this. This is heavy. Get me Revelation 6. John, who lived far after Isaiah, both black men, saw a similar vision. Watch this.
The book of Revelation, chapter 6, verse 14. And the heaven departed as a scroll.
So hold up. He said this time, the heaven, like it went away. And in its place, read on.
When it is rolled together.
So he said he saw the same type of scroll. John saw the same destruction. This is why, remember it said the last prophet allegedly stopped with Muhammad. Proving you, Isaiah saw the same thing as John. And guess what? Today, why can't these pastors and these Christians see what we see? Because the Lord is only revealing his mysteries to his servants, the prophets.
Right.
And we live in today. We see that. I know what Isaiah, he know what Isaiah said. They don't understand that. The prophets are showing you the prophets are back. It never stopped with us. We keep generating. You understand that? Read on.
And every mountain and island were moved out of their places.
What could make something move like that? It's a thermonuclear bomb. Now, last video, it's a short. I think you're going to like this at home. This white woman she's so dead up serious, and she is saying prophecy. There's nothing anybody could ever do to stop a thermonuclear war. They could try to delay it. They'll never stop it. Watch this. Let it play.
Ballistic missile launched from a launch pad outside Moscow takes 26 minutes and 40 seconds to get to Washington, D.C. We can't shoot down ballistic missiles, long-range ballistic missiles, with any kind of certainty or accuracy. So there's 3 phases of a ballistic missile. The interceptor system is designed to take out the missile in mid-course phase. We have 44 interceptors. We have 1,700, let's say, nuclear missiles on ready for launch status. Russia has about the same. We have 44 interceptor missiles. How are 44 interceptor missiles going to go up against more than 1,000 Russian nuclear weapons coming at us? Never mind the fact that each interceptor has a 50% shoot-down rate, which is why when nuclear war begins, it only ends in nuclear Armageddon.
And that, brothers and sisters, is why we got to get our minds right. Because the Third World War is coming. The Third World will come to pass, and we want to be protected. So when you read Psalms 91, it says 1,000 shall die on this side, 10,000, but it shall not nigh come to you, meaning we're going to be protected. He uses a bird wing analogy. We will not get burned like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the fiery furnace. We're going to have protection like that. So with that, Israel, we're on time. We're going to go to Lord back attack. Thanks for sticking with us. Shalom. I got one video. Easy.
You can tell by my gait that I'm all in. You can tell by my faith that I'm all in. Front line with the truth, I'ma fall in. Even if it's a dead end, going all in. You can tell by the things I'm involved in. I can lose it all for my calling. If I die for the truth, it's a win-win. And going to the end, going all in. Going all in. Yeah. You can tell by my gait that I'm all in. You can tell by my faith that I'm all in. Front line with the truth, I'ma fall in. Even if it's a dead end, going all in. You can tell by the things I'm involved in. I can lose it all for my calling.
Hey, Shalom Israel, Most High in Christ, bless. I'm Captain Shem, Lord back attack. I am the mean captain. I'm the one that Lord backs all of IUIC are mad at me. Great, I'm doing my job. Get me, by the way, shout out to the brothers that have gone from red, which is a disgusting obese lard ass, down to a yellow, which is a little bit less of a lard ass. And shout out to your brothers that have gone from yellow, which is regular lard ass status, down to green, which is acceptable. And we're going to all get to green in less than 2 years because we have a vision. The vision is we are going to be a subsection of the black and brown population that is controlling our health and fixing our health. Read that. Sirach 30, verse 15.
Yes, sir. The book of Sirach, chapter 30, verse 15.
A lot of you might say, why does he read like the same 10 scriptures? Because we don't listen. You got to keep repeating everything for Israel. Read.
Health and good estate of body are above all gold.
So if we really believe that, right? If we really believe in God and applied, he said health, read it again.
Health and good estate of body.
Health and a good estate of your body physically, read on.
Are above all gold.
It's above gold. That's very expensive. Now he cleans it up with the next part.
And a strong body above.
So you don't get a strong body by being not healthy. The first part is you're healthy, good estate of body, health and a good estate of body gets you to the strong body. And what does he say about that body?
And a strong body above infinite wealth.
Infinite wealth is wealth beyond what you can imagine. You can't imagine it. You can't quantify it. If I said to you 1 billion times 1 billion, which would be so much money you couldn't fit in the state of Rhode Island, that wouldn't be enough. God says that your health is actually better than that, but you don't believe that. That's why for 5 years, 12 years, 3 years, you're still obese. You have excuse after excuse, and you don't change. And guess what? You lard asses, you grandfathered in lard asses, it's going to get to the point where you're going to be the last fat person in the congregation. And all these new brothers that come through, they realize, well, I got to stop eating pork. I got to stop doing Christmas and Halloween and all that. My wife got to put up pants, and I got to do all the things, and I got to be healthy. I can't be obese anymore. Why? Because that's out of order. Okay, jump to 25. This is probably my favorite verse out of the help scriptures. Read.
Verse 25. A cheerful and good heart will have a care of his meat and diet.
If you are obese, you do not care about your meat and diet. You don't care. And as a result, and behind the scenes, when you're by yourself and no one else is around, and you look at yourself in the mirror, you look at the fact you got a big fat gut and hate handles. They call them love handles. Esau calls them love handles. Esau's so damn friggin' pretentious. They're just love handles. So you're telling me the fact that what's hiding behind that subcutaneous fat is visceral fat, and you call them love handles? They hate handles. You should be despised with that fact. And the proof that you have it, it's your fault. It's your fault. I got solutions. Read it again, Zadiah.
A cheerful and good heart will have a care of his meat and diet.
We got to start caring about what we put in our body. We got to start caring about our diet so that we can have a strong body that is more important and better than any type of riches that you or I could ever imagine. Now, go to Sirach. I'm sorry. Play the video. This guy, if you get a chance, I like this guy. His name is Dr. Ken Perry, and he is a proponent of ketogenic diet, and he more recently he's been doing carnivore, which carnivore is keto. Carnivore is no carbohydrate, proteins, and fat. I'm not saying to eat carnivore. What I'm saying is that his advice about diabetes 2 is 100% on point. And any of you people in the body that have diabetes 2, you're stupid. You're stupid and dumb, and you're ignorant. You can heal every one of you that has pre-diabetes and diabetes 2, not 1, 2. You can reverse it. If you look at the level of pharmaceutical drugs that's pushed on the black community particularly, now white people get diabetes too as well, but more black people. Girl, my sugar's up. Well, stop eating refined and processed food, okay, and so much damn 10 times a day, and you won't have diabetes too, lard ass. Play.
Doctor says, oh, you have type 2 diabetes. That's a permanent condition. All you can do is take pills and shots and insulin and eat the American Diabetes Association diet. That's terrible. That's terrible advice. That should be malpractice, and I think 5 years from now will be looked at as malpractice. But right now, it's the state of practice. All of this is unnecessary. All of this can be prevented easily. And I'm not talking about being prevented with $5,000 a month of medication. I'm talking about just stop eating the slow poison that your doctor told.
What he's saying, the poison, is that after the Industrial Revolution, the factories produced more and more populations, and they started to preserve food and package food more and more. The invention of refrigeration by a black man, by the way, now you could do the invention of the TV dinners where they would pre-package and then process foods, and shelf life began to get longer and longer. We are not supposed to eat that crap. You can reverse diabetes too by it's strict, but you can do it. You eliminate sugars. You eliminate carbohydrates. A piece of bread has a white piece of bread, even wheat bread, has an alarming amount of sugar. Alarming. Potatoes, although they grow from the ground, and rice, a lot of it's processed. Stay away from it if you're trying to heal diabetes too. Get with your doctor, and we have a brother in the body. Shout out to my brother, Officer Maccabeus out of Minneapolis. He literally reversed diabetes too. I love that brother. That brother lost 125 pounds. Men's conference. He came on stage. He told his story. He helped change a lot of men's life through his example. 125 pounds down. Diabetes 2 reversed. High blood pressure. Put in remission. And guess what? He was a bad case. A lot of you only need to lose 60 pounds. The 60 pounds is nothing to sneeze at. 60 pounds, 40 pounds. 40 pounds of fat is substantial, man. And all of you can do it. You choose not to. And that's why I'm going to keep hitting you over the head every time I get a chance. And every time I see you lard asses, guess what? I really want you to change, because you can fix a lot of your health problems just by following last scripture, Sirach 38, verse 4.
The book of Sirach, chapter 38, verse 4.
I ain't keep it too long. Read.
The Lord had created medicines out of the earth.
Now watch this. That also goes with herbs like thyme, basil, oregano, ginger, turmeric. Those things actually grow. You can make medicine out of it, right? Basil, I think I said. Also, it goes with fruits and vegetables. And lastly, you want to eat things that eat things from the ground. Here's an example. If you eat less frequently, buy the eggs that are pasture raised. They don't keep the chickens in a damn cement floor in a big giant barn and give them a cubic foot to walk around in. Or cows that they're on concrete eating soybean friggin' products, and they get so damn fat fast, they have extra layers of fat, and you're eating that. Eat grass-fed beef if you can. Eat grass-fed beef. Eat pasture-raised egg. Eat wild-caught fish. Look at how it's better to eat farm-raised fish than to have a Pop-Tart. I'm not saying that. The point is, the crap that they do in these man-made farms are horrible. Eat things that are from the ground and wild in nature. Wild in nature. Read it again.
The Lord had created medicines out of the earth.
Right.
And he that is wise.
How are you wise? Because you know you're an Israelite. And you know that if you look at the greater society, our people are messed up, man. We have the highest obesity rate out of any subsection of the United States of America. And America has the highest ratio of obesity in the world. And we're the worst of that worst country. And we can fix it. So when you come to IUIC, you come to this truth, and all the camps should do that. We're gonna be the forerunners of that. It's gonna be in the next 2 years, you're not gonna see fat people anymore. It's done. The day is done. It's very easy to do. Everyone can fix it. Now, the big, giant, beluga-gutted lard asses that's 200 pounds away, it might take you a year and a half. But most of you can do it in 6 months or under. Finish it up. I'm done.
Will not abhor them.
And we're not going to hate them. Why? Because we keep the commandments, and we know that our bread is defiled, but we're going to do it less frequently. We're going to eat better and better and better, and we're going to eradicate obesity, high blood pressure. We're going to fix our health because we are the light of the world. So you lard asses, I can't wait to see you, because guess what I'm doing? I'm going to give you a damn hard time. And with that, shalom.
Yeah, you can tell by my gait that I'm all in. You can tell by my faith that I'm all in. Front line with the truth, I'ma fall in. Even if it's a dead end, going all in. You can tell by the things I'm involved in. I can lose it all for my calling.
We are seeking your assistance to enhance our national broadcast. Kindly spare a minute to provide feedback by answering 5 brief questions. Thank you. Give alms. If you enjoyed Precept upon Precept, make sure you give alms to your local school. Drop an envelope in the alms box. Give online via PayPal at iuic.neworleans@israelunite.org. That is iuic.neworleans@israelunite.org. If you want to give to the Booster Club via PayPal, you can send it to at iuic.fundraising@israelunite.org.
So, hey, listen, Israel, you heard the bishops, you've heard what our goal is to get our own land so that we can control what happens. So, Officer Thomas, can you get your Bishop Nathaniel on? Go down. There you go. You got it. So look where Officer Thomas's hand. Right below, there's the link. Okay, donate to the Booster Club. You can also, I don't know if you can see that, but I just realized you can text to donate at 646-982-3858, and then it should prompt you, or if you want to go to the PayPal and go hit land, donate to the land fund in the notes. And brothers and sisters, it's not if we're going to get the goal. We're going to get to the goal. It's just that how nice would it be we get to the goal, and then maybe there's a little bit more, because we're going to have to make some modifications when we get the land. So we're going to get there. Why? Because we have phenomenal leadership that sees the vision and that keep the commandments and teach us to do what our forefathers did, keep the commandments. So any other things we got to bring out, or are we good? Okay. With that, we did 2 hours flat tonight. We're your host. Okay, you're going to see this crew Yas will be back next week. Okay, we're your hosts. I'm Captain Shem.
Officer Thomas.
Officer Solomon.
Officer Zadai.
Hey, Israel, with that, we say
Shalom.
There's a special place that I like to go with nobody's home to increase my understanding. My daily bread, that amazing. I'm talking about precepts. Precept on precept, line upon line, line. Precept on precept, line upon line, line. I can't keep explaining, can't